Scanxiety, it's a real thing. When you have cancer scans at the end of the week or at the end of the month, that permeates your brain over and over. How do you get past it? How do you get through Scanxiety? I have this video here. I'm going to show you the steps that I kind of take in order to get my head in the game, getting ready for when I have my cancer scans coming up. You ever notice how time feels slower the week before your scans? It's like the clock's conspiring against you. Every tick is louder, every minute is heavier. It's everything you're doing, you think about your scans coming up. You try to distract yourself. You binge a show, you go to work, you play with your kid, you take your kid to SeaWorld, you take your family out for dinner. But every time there's a quiet moment in your life, the thought kind of sneaks back in. My scans are coming up. Scanxiety. What if it's bad news? You try to tell yourself not to think about it, obviously, and that only makes you think about it more. You don't want to bother your family too much about it because they have their thing going too. And I myself try to sometimes take on things myself too much. But it's like your brain becomes this 24-hour news channel with only one headline. And it's on the scroll at the bottom and it's the results are coming. Scans are coming. First of all, scans aren't fun. You got to get poked and prodded, blood work done. Go inside a giant machine like you're Darth Vader or the Incredible Hulk, then you do your colonoscopy too, and that's a different thing. But this Scanxiety is a real deal, and if you ever had it, you know what I'm talking about. It's not just a worry. It's like this whole body tension, like a storm of like what ifs. What if it comes back? What if my cancer is back? You just think of the worst, by the way. You think that your brain would want to think of the best as an auto arrangement or alignment, but it doesn't. It always keeps circling back no matter how many times you try to tell yourself, it always circles back. And you try to tell yourself you're going to be okay, you're going to be fine. But here's the truth. I've learned this from going it over and over. And again, I have my scans coming up, so it's kind of why I want to do this video. That the waiting can hurt more than the scan itself. It's like waiting in line for a roller coaster. You know, like when I was a kid, I was scared of rides. I was scared of like baby rides. I was scared of like the Pinocchio ride. And then, finally go on a big roller coaster and you could realize it's not so bad. But while you're in line, you're scared, right? And that's because you can't even fight what you can't control. So today I'm going to share 4 ways that I deal with it. There's many more, but I'm just trying to condense this so I'm not talking forever. So for today, four different ways that help me from keeping my mind spinning out of control. And so hopefully these ways will help you too. So number 1 way to deal with Scanxiety is to acknowledge the fear. That's number 1. Don't fight it, acknowledge it. First mistake that I used to make was pretending that I wasn't scared. I would put on a brave face. Now I still want to do that for my family and my kiddo, obviously. I want them to know that everything's going to be okay. You kind of have to assume the sale in that way, right? And just deal for that bad news if it happens. But I put on that good face, and I always say, it's just a routine scan, it's going to be fine. But inside, it's crazy. You're feeling that. Inside, you're kind of bracing for impact. It's scary. But denying that fear, doesn't make it go away. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It's just going to pop back up. My daughter loves that game when you put the beach ball under the water and it shoots up. But anyways, you could push it down for a little bit, right? That fear, but then that pressure builds up and my light just fell over and that's hilarious. And we're going to keep that because this is real. This is authentic. This is in honor of my friend who rest in peace, David Wygant. You kind of keep going, keep rolling with it because this is my true self. I'm going to try not to overcut this. But fear is going to eventually surface. And when that does, just like that beach ball or whatever, the ball in the water, it pops up high in the air. It's kind of an eruption of fear. So now I try and name that fear. I literally say, okay, I'm anxious, I'm nervous. Because when I call it out, at least it loses its mystery. And I kind of feel like I'm in control of it. It becomes something that you can work with in your brain. So it allows you to, be calm in the room. It's not peace right away, I don't think. I don't think that, no. Because, here it is. I'm 5 years in remission, and I'm still nervous as heck about these scans coming up. I think it's maybe because I'm near the finish line, too. They say after 5 years of your surgery, you are in the clear, you are in remission, or you are cured. My doctor's already said that it's more likely that I'm going to get a new cancer than my old cancer coming back. So that's reassuring. but that doesn't stop the negative chit chat, the monkey chatter in my head, this little voice in my head saying that maybe what happens? But you have to tell yourself that you've been there before. You have to tell yourself that you're gonna be okay and you'll be able to do it again. I've weathered worse storms. I've gone through a lot worse than this. So I'm really hoping for my sake and my family's sake that I can get through this. So the number 2 way that you can deal with your Scanxiety is knowing you can control what you can. Scanxiety leaves a lot of uncertainty. You have no control. I have no control feeling, just like I talked about. And that's where you find your mind spiraling, right? But trying to get control of it by maybe going outside, taking a walk. Control that. Control that you can go to the gym. Control that you can do the things in your life that are going to make you healthy or keep you fit. And while you're at the gym or on a walk, that's when you can decide if you take a deep breath. Stop trying to convince yourself the worst case scenarios. I would say avoid that doom scrolling for that, or looking up like symptoms or possibilities or percentages. Don't worry about the percentages. Try to force yourself to be positive. It's about grounding yourself in the action. Because when you take any action, even something as small as, like I said, making your bed or going on a short hike. Got to go on a hike recently to Tahoe. It was fun. Your brain will start to re-anchor into the present and kind of keep your mind off the future. An unknown future too. You just don't know. And the present is the only place where that actually exists. I can't control what the scan will show. I can control how hydrated I am for it. I can control, I'm a tough stick, by the way, from the months and months of chemo. It's not fun for me. My veins have scarred over. They're very difficult to find a good bloodline or whatever you want to call it. So sometimes it takes the nurses like 3 or 4 times to prick to get the blood going, which is not fun. And for CT scans, they're going to have to do a contrast, which is off. They shoot that dye into your body so they can see you on the imaging. But again, I can control how hydrated I am, which will make the stick as easy as it can for the nurses. I can control how much time I spend with my family or the people that I love, friends, and to remind myself and to remind yourself why you're fighting again. That's things that you can control. Remind yourself that. So the trick is focus on what you can do, and that will quietly take your power back. That'll slowly but surely give you back in control. Number 3. This is one that I don't have any difficulty, obviously. I have a channel now, and I have a TikTok and an Instagram. I talk a lot. And that's talking it out. Talk it out even if you don't want to, man. Like, listen, here's the thing about Scanxiety or anxiety. It loves silence. Anxiety loves to just hole up in your brain, and the more you bottle it up, the louder the voice becomes in your head. It's easy to think, I don't want to worry about it anymore. I don't want to worry anyone. Why would I worry someone else when I could just worry about it myself? Or they wouldn't understand, which some people wouldn't. That's understandable. But you don't have to explain everything down to the T or the dot. But maybe if you even say something, just getting it out there in the sphere of life will help you. Sometimes it's as simple as even texting a friend too. I could just text, or for me, like I know I said avoid social media, but I sometimes lean on that feeling of the social media where I'll do a post about it. I'll post in a support group. I'm in a couple ostomy and cancer survivor support groups. And when I post to help, like I said in that last video, purpose over pain, trying to help other people, that kind of gets my mind off it. But also you deal with like-minded people. It's the act of saying it out loud that will help you kind of get through it. And believe it or not, your friends and family are going to want to hear. They want to hear from you. They want to know that you're going to be okay. It's scary for them too, by the way. My cancer treatment was hard on me, but man, it was just hard on my beautiful wife. Like, I can't even imagine what she was going through, because that's a level of powerlessness. At least for me, I'm like at the chemo chair, or I'm zonked out on the meds. She has to sit there waiting for my 11-hour surgery. My ostomy surgery took 11 hours. She had to wait. She thought it was going to be 5. They thought it was going to be 5. Best doctors in the business, best surgeon in the business. Shout out to Dr. Kwan. She's awesome. But yeah, it's not about finding someone to fix it. and you don't want to like message your doctors all the time and stuff. It's just about letting it out there that it's going to happen. And sometimes I'll post on social media. I'll be like, hey, I got my scans coming up, and you don't realize how nice it is just to hear from your friends, say, hey, you got this, and that and hearing from people that you haven't heard from. And I think that's social media can be a toxic, negative place, but as someone that had a lot of support during my cancer treatment, especially with the Smash Cancer movement and everything with the Schmodown fans, like that really, when they rallied around me, like that was showing that social media can be used for good. And so if that helps you, if you post, if you're not that private of a person, you want people to know you have your scans coming up, you'll feel that power, that army behind you, and they're praying for you. Because when you put into words that what's eating at you, you take away its ability to just constantly be a whisper to you in the dark. So if you're watching this and you don't have someone in your immediate circle to talk to, just message me. You can message me. I write everybody back on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Friendster, MySpace. Those last two are a joke, obviously. But anyone who gets it, there's a whole community out there as well. You can do the online support group. So it's the power of saying that I am anxious, I have Scanxiety, and I need to talk about it. It's not weakness. It's just having the wisdom to seek out help. Scanxiety solution number 4. I don't know if I'm calling it solutions or how to tap into it or fix it, or address it anyway. But it's letting go of the illusion of control. So, I keep saying you're trying to take back control, and that's funny because now I sound like I'm contradicting myself. But again, it's a tricky thing in my brain, and these are just things that I came up with, but this one's the hardest, but it is the most freeing. No matter how much I try to like meditate or sit to myself, I don't do yoga as much as my wife wants me to do yoga, but I bet you yoga would help. But as much as I try to plan, the scan is going to say what it's going to say. No amount of worry, no amount of messages I write, just like all those previous solutions, right? No matter what you can do, it's not going to change the result of the scan. The scan is going to be what the scan is going to be. So while you can control how you feel in your emotions, and you can go on walks and take advantage of your family and your love, take advantage of community over isolation, like I've said, and outreach people, and just the prior 3 steps I made, understand those get your head right in the game, but it's not going to necessarily change the scan results, all right? You can't change the scan results unless you got a DeLorean and you go back in time, stop me from eating that Big Mac when I was little that probably gave me the cancer, or the corn dogs. I loved corn dogs, man. Not anymore. Not saying that gave me cancer. You know what I'm saying. So my thoughts, when they start spiraling, I ask myself a very grounded question. Is this thought helping me, or is it just noise? Because worry feels like it's productive. It feels like you're doing something to help, but it's really just fear that's disguising itself in your brain as effort. So it tricks you into thinking you're in control, and you're not. You got to wait for the results and then see where you go from there. It's an uncontrollable thing right now, obviously, and that's why I've tried to give you steps to get a little handle on it mentally, but just try to acknowledge that externally, the scans are going to be what the scans are going to be, and you can do as much as you can to prepare for them, hydrate for them, and make the scans as easy on you and the nurses as possible and the great doctors. But at the end of the day, it's going to be on the scans, and we'll see what happens. And that is where fate comes in, or if you're a God-fearing person or a religious person, it's in God's hands. So, try to focus on the things that actually matter. The laughter with your friends at dinner, the walk where I take my kiddo to get ice cream, date night with the wife, like those quiet moments. It's just before you go to bed, and that's when it's the toughest. I didn't get any, as you could tell probably, I didn't get any sleep last night. And the closer the scans come, the less sleep I make. But if you could just before bed, try to tell yourself everything's going to be okay and they're going to be the way it's going to be, that'll help. And it's not denial. It's just your life kind of reclaiming its place from the constant what ifs and chit chatter in your head. So look, I hope this has helped you. I know I ramble on a little bit, but hopefully if you have your scans coming up, you found this video. And like mine are coming up, just take a deep breath. You've already walked through fire, right? You've already beaten cancer once. This is for people that have had cancer and you're going through recovery, and now you're dealing with the Scanxiety of subsequent tests. You faced harder days than the one you're about to face with your scans. You are. The days before the scan, they're not punishment. They're proof that you're here. They're proof that you're still living. and they're proof that you're a fighter, right? So when the fear creeps in, and it will, I don't want to get too emotional, but it's like really hard. But when the fear creeps in, you've got to have the strength to remember why you're doing this, why you get up in the morning, why you're fighting this. It's for your family, it's for your loved ones, and it's for yourself, you know? And so whatever shows up on that screen on those scans, because look, you've already faced the hardest part. When you get in that chair, when you get into the colonoscopy, when you get into the CT scan and the CAT scan, that's the hardest part. Then you get to chill and relax. Let the doctors do their work. So then the worry comes in. But you've earned that peace. You've earned your calm. And whatever happens next, and you don't know, you'll face it either way. As you faced it before, as you'll face everything else. You'll do it with the courage that you had to get here in the first place, and the quiet belief, no, not the quiet belief, and the loud belief, and the strong belief that you're going to keep moving forward. That's a quote that I really love, and it says, if you quit now, you'll end up right back where you started. And when you first started, you were desperate to be right here where you are now. And those are words to live by. It really is. So hopefully this found some solace with you. Hopefully for you guys having scans, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you have scans coming up. Hopefully this kind of helps you. I know just even talking about it myself, because I just kind of had to put words down to paper of what my steps were. It was a good reminder. It's like, you know, they sometimes say when you're a teacher, when you teach others, you kind of learn all over again. So I would say that for me, this has been helpful. So I would thank you. I would thank all the people that follow me, and I would thank all the warriors out there. And I really do hope that we'll get through this together. I always said, we are in this together. We are all warriors, and we all have a shared common goal, and that's just to keep living. So again, with Scanxiety, it's coming up. Just understand it's out of your hands, but you can control right up here. You control right here. I think it's just because I'm at the end of the video and I'm just trying to sound so epic, but hey, that's real. That's me being authentic. And so I'm just going to end it the way I end a lot of things, just silly and ridiculous. So God bless everyone, and good luck on your scans.